Sergeant First Class Nathan Shelley enlisted in the Army in 1989 or 1998 as an air traffic control specialist, where he learned to talk to pilots over the radio and guide them through the air. He held many positions of leadership throughout his tenure in the Army, some even being above his pay grade, as well as having served as an Army recruiter. All the while, he focused on providing the leadership his subordinates and those around him deserved. Sergeant First Class Shelley had spent a significant portion of his career overseas in Germany, Korea, Kuwait, and Iraq. Sergeant First Class Shelley retires with the Meritorious Service Medal and has been inducted into the Army Aviation Association of America's Order of St. Michael with the Bronze Medal. His most significant contributions to the military was serving at the pinnacle of Army aviation. Assigned to the Army staff as a liaison to the FAA, where he worked to mitigate countless impacts on both the military and civilian components so that the national airspace could be used effectively by all participants throughout the central portion of the United States. After retiring, Sergeant First Class Shelley will retire in Fort Worth, Texas, and continue working with the Federal Aviation Administration in the Regional Operations Headquarters building as a contractor and eventually as a federal employee, doing obstruction evaluations, maintaining the safety of the national airspace. Please remain seated and hold your applause until all presentations have been made. The Meritorious Service Medal is presented to Sergeant First Class Nathan D. Shelley for exceptionally meritorious service while encompassing a 24-year career, culminating as the Federal Aviation Administration's Department of the Army representative for the Central and Great Lakes region, Aviation Directorate, Headquarters, Department of the Army. Sergeant First Class Shelley's dedication to mission and technical knowledge of air traffic control, airfields, and the national airspace system contributed to the success of the unit. His actions greatly reflect credit upon him, the Army G357, and the United States Army. Signed, James E. Rainey, Lieutenant General, U.S. Army Commanding. Lieutenant Colonel Grant will now present Sergeant First Class Shelley with his retirement pin. Lieutenant Colonel Grant will now present Sergeant First Class Shelley with his retirement flag. At this time, we would like to take a moment to welcome and acknowledge Ms. Xenia D. Shelley for her faithful service to this country and her support to her spouse during his time on active duty. Ms. Shelley will be receiving a certificate of appreciation on behalf of the Chief of Staff of the Army on the occasion of his spouse's retirement from active duty status. At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Grant will present Sergeant First Class Shelley the Presidential Certificate of Appreciation. It reads, "For service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Sergeant First Class Nathan D. Shelley, I extend my personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation to you for your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces helped to protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to a world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country is in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world and embodies the American ideal of selfless service. Our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in your next chapter. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief." At this time, Lieutenant Colonel Grant will present Sergeant First Class Shelley the Certificate of Retirement. It reads, "To all who shall see these presents greeting, this is to certify that Sergeant First Class Nathan D. Shelley, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Army on the 31st day of August, 2022. Signed, James C. McConville, General, United States Army Chief of Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Sergeant First Class Nathan D. Shelley, United States Army, retired.